My favorite president is Teddy Roosevelt. For entertainment purposes only, though. Obviously, President Trump is my favorite president now, here in the now. President Trump didn't write in his book about an encounter with Bigfoot, more commonly known as the Montana incident. It's a small blurb in the book that Teddy Roosevelt had written about his life called The Wilderness Hunter, and in the book, one story stood out among the others, and it's the one you might not expect to find in a book written by a future president. The story was told to Roosevelt by a man named Bowman, who was camping with another man, and then they had claimed that their campsite had been ransacked by a bipedal, hairy figure. Supposedly, according to the person that told Teddy Roosevelt the story, the unnamed partner that the person was with, Bauman was with, was actually killed by this thing. Roosevelt took to heart the story about Bigfoot so much so that he put it in his own autobiography, Motherfucking America. But that's not all. Teddy Roosevelt was also an avid boxer, rumored to have held boxing matches in the basement of the White House throughout the duration of most of his presidency, regularly challenging military aides and friends to join him in the ring. However, one of these boxing matches actually ended up taking the majority of his sight. Firing in the White House, Moore had caught Teddy Roosevelt with such a strong blow to the head that it caused severe hemorrhaging and a detached retina and eventually blindness. Doctors had ordered him to stop, but Theodore Roosevelt, he kept it a secret. Only 3 or 4 of his closest confidants were ever aware that he had been blinded. They wanted to protect the identity of the other boxer as much as anything. They didn't want people to know that this Dan Tyler Moore had actually blinded the sitting president of the United States. However, that single incident may have very well have saved Theodore Roosevelt's life. Because later on, when he was campaigning for his second term, he was almost assassinated by somebody. He was given a campaign speech. Somebody from the crowd had actually taken a shot at him. The bullet ended up lodging in his 4th rib after slowing down significantly as it passed through the president's metal glasses case, and folded 50-page speech. Because Teddy's eyesight was so poor, the oration of printed in larger than normal typeface was added extra pages and bulk to his speech. Roosevelt went on to deliver his 84-minute speech as planned despite chest pain and a bloodied shirt. He opened the rally like this: "Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. I do not know whether you fully understand, but I have just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose." God dang. Now, Theodore Roosevelt is also responsible for inventing the teddy bear. While he was on a hunting trip, his aide had tied a small black bear cub to a tree so that he could shoot it and take it back, because that's kind of what they did back then. But instead of doing that, Theodore Roosevelt actually spared the bear's life and let it go. A small toy company had heard the story about Theodore Roosevelt and the black bear and had created something called the teddy bear to celebrate the momentous moment. The bear has come a long way since then, but this was kind of what it looked like back then. That is why Theodore Roosevelt is my favorite president, entertainment-wise. He was the most interesting man of his time.